What if I told you that the story of Lucifer isn't just about an angel's fall from grace? It's a cautionary tale that echoes in every corner of our lives today. Lucifer wasn't always the embodiment of evil. He was once the brightest light in heaven, admired and exalted above all. But how does someone go from glory to curse? It's a story that challenges everything we think we know about pride, rebellion, and the power of choice. And here's the twist. His journey isn't just his. It's a mirror reflecting truths about our own lives, our struggles, and the battles we face daily. This isn't the tale you've heard in passing or the oversimplified version from pop culture. No, this is the full story, unraveling the layers of mystery and exposing the deep spiritual truths buried in his rise and fall. You'll see Lucifer not just as a villain, but as a complex figure whose decisions set the stage for a cosmic drama that continues to unfold. And as you discover how he became Satan, the adversary, you'll find lessons that resonate far beyond the spiritual realm. The stakes are higher than you think because his influence touches every life, including yours. So, are you ready to dive into a story of light, betrayal, and redemption unlike anything you've ever seen? What you'll learn could change how you view not only the spiritual world, but also the hidden battles in your own life. Let's uncover the truth behind Lucifer's glory and his curse, and why his story is more relevant today than ever before. Lucifer, whose name means light-bearer, was unlike any other being in creation. Imagine standing in the presence of the most radiant angel, whose every movement exuded wisdom, grace, and unparalleled beauty. As the highest-ranking cherub, Lucifer's voice once led the heavens in harmonious praise, captivating even the stars with his songs. His brilliance was so evident that the other angels admired him, seeing him as a reflection of God's glory. If you've ever seen the sun breaking through the clouds, casting light that seems to illuminate everything in its path, then you've had a glimpse of the kind of splendor Lucifer embodied. He wasn't just an angel. He was the angel. Now think about the role he played. Lucifer wasn't a passive figure in the celestial hierarchy. He was a leader. Imagine being in charge of heaven's worship, orchestrating melodies that connected all of creation to God. This wasn't just a position of authority. It was a responsibility that demanded integrity and devotion, and Lucifer excelled at it. Today, we might liken his role to that of a visionary CEO, someone whose influence shaped the culture and direction of an entire organization. But what happens when admiration turns into self-admiration? When the mirror reflects back not humility, but pride? Here's the twist. As perfect as Lucifer was, he began to focus on the creation rather than the creator. It's a little like the tragedy of a prodigy who, after receiving countless accolades, starts to believe they're untouchable. Lucifer's downfall began not with an action, but with a thought. A desire to ascend higher, to be more. This is where things take a turn, and it's a reminder that even the greatest gifts can become the seeds of destruction when misused. What happens when the light-bearer no longer wants to bear someone else's light but his own? The story of Lucifer's fall is as dramatic as it is sobering. Pride, that subtle and insidious seed, grew in his heart until it consumed him. He began to whisper to himself, "Why should I bow when I'm so radiant, so wise?" It's the classic story of ambition gone wrong, like a star athlete who starts believing they're bigger than the team. Lucifer didn't just entertain these thoughts, he acted on them. Imagine standing on the precipice of heaven itself, staring at the glory of God, yet daring to say, "I will ascend above the throne of the Most High." His rebellion wasn't a sudden outburst. It was a calculated move that would forever alter the course of history. Once he crossed the line, there was no turning back. The moment Lucifer sought equality with God, heaven's harmony shattered. Picture a palace where the most trusted advisor suddenly conspires to overthrow the king. The betrayal isn't just an offense, it's an act of war. Lucifer's ambition set him on a path of no return, leading to his expulsion. And what a fall it was. He was cast from the heights of heaven into the abyss, a descent so profound it echoes in the very fabric of creation. If you've ever felt the sting of a friend's betrayal, then you understand a sliver of the pain and gravity of this moment. But here's the irony. Lucifer's fall into darkness didn't extinguish his ambition, it fueled it. Banished from the celestial courts, he made the abyss his domain. This wasn't the end of his story, it was the beginning of his new identity. Instead of basking in God's light, Lucifer chose to cast his own shadow. It's a powerful reminder that pride doesn't just harm the proud, it creates a ripple effect, touching everything and everyone in its path. And yet, this is only the start of what he would do. What happens when a fallen angel decides to rally others to his cause? Lucifer's rebellion wasn't a solitary act, it was a rallying cry. In his descent into pride, he became a master of persuasion, sowing seeds of discontent among the angels. Imagine the eloquence of a leader who once commanded heaven's worship, now turning that same charisma into a weapon. He whispered doubts, promising power and glory to those who would join him. It's like a brilliant orator rallying a crowd, convincing them that the rules are unjust and that they deserve more. Before long, a third of the heavenly hosts were captivated, their loyalty swayed by Lucifer's twisted vision. But heaven isn't a place where rebellion goes unnoticed. God, the ultimate authority, would not allow discord to reign. Enter Michael, the archangel, a warrior whose very name declares allegiance to the Creator, who is like God. When the rebellion erupted into war, Michael led the charge, a blazing sword in his hand, standing as the protector of divine order. Imagine a celestial battlefield where light and shadow clash, the air heavy with the sound of angelic voices and the clash of spiritual forces. It wasn't just a battle of strength, it was a battle of purpose. Michael's unwavering cry echoed through the heavens, a reminder of who truly holds the power. The rebellion was fierce, but it was also futile. Lucifer and his followers, despite their numbers and ambition, were no match for the power of God working through Michael and the loyal angels. And when the dust settled, the outcome was clear. The rebels were defeated, their place in heaven forever lost. But defeat didn't mean the end for Lucifer. Stripped of his position, his brilliance now darkened, he would soon find a new way to wield his influence. What does a fallen leader do when the battlefield shifts from the heavens to the earth? Defeated and cast out of heaven. Lucifer's transformation into Satan marked the birth of an eternal adversary. Imagine being stripped of everything you once held, the beauty, the glory, the purpose, and finding yourself in the dark abyss of exile. For Lucifer, this wasn't just a fall, it was the ultimate humiliation. No longer the light-bearer, he now bore the name Satan, the accuser, the one who stands against all that is good. If you've ever witnessed someone consumed by bitterness after a great loss, you can begin to grasp the venom that now filled his heart. His mission became singular, to destroy what God loved most, his creation. Satan didn't wait long to begin his campaign. In the Garden of Eden, we see him make his first move, cunning and manipulative. Like a master chess player, he anticipated humanity's weaknesses and exploited them with precision. He whispered doubt into Eve's heart, sowing seeds of distrust. Did God really say? It's a tactic as old as time, and one we still see today, planting questions that lead to rebellion. In this act, Satan unveiled his strategy, not brute force, but deception and division. If you think about it, this is the same method used in the world today to pull people away from truth. Subtle lies wrapped in half-truths. But his transformation didn't stop at deceiving humanity. It became a war against the entire fabric of creation. Satan's role as the adversary wasn't limited to one moment in the garden. Every storm, every act of cruelty, every whisper of despair bears his fingerprints. Yet even in his relentless pursuit of destruction, there's a flicker of hope for humanity. Why? Because his power, though immense, is still subject to the sovereignty of God. So what happens when this relentless force meets the divine plan for ultimate restoration? Satan's influence didn't end with Eden. It became a thread woven into the story of humanity. From the days of Cain and Abel to the chaos of the present world, his tactics have remained eerily consistent. He whispers doubt, fans the flames of pride, and manipulates circumstances to draw people away from God. Think about how easily division creeps into families, communities, and even churches. It's a strategy as old as time. Satan doesn't come dressed as an obvious enemy. He disguises himself in the things we desire, the paths that seem easiest, the temptations we justify. It's subtle, but its effects are devastating. Yet his power is not unlimited. Every act of rebellion he inspires is met by God's grace and redemptive plan. Consider Job, a man whom Satan sought to break with relentless trials. Satan was allowed to test him, but only within the limits God set. This shows a crucial truth. While Satan has influence, he is not sovereign. His actions, though harmful, are always under God's ultimate control. In moments of temptation or despair, this reality can give us hope, because it reminds us that no matter how fierce the battle, God's victory is assured. But the story of Satan doesn't end with his unchecked influence. From Eden to the cross and all the way to Revelation, we see his power diminish in the face of God's justice. His final defeat is not just foretold, it's guaranteed. The prophecies of the apocalypse paint a vivid picture of his end. Bound, judged, and cast into the lake of fire for eternity. And yet, the question remains, how do we navigate a world still under his sway while awaiting the ultimate triumph of good over evil? Lucifer's story is more than a tale of pride and rebellion. It's a vivid reminder of how the choices we make shape our destiny. Just as he fell from glory, humanity faces the daily challenge of resisting temptations and staying aligned with God's purpose. What can you learn from his mistakes? How can his eternal struggle inspire you to strengthen your faith and guard your heart against pride, doubt, or despair? The battles we face may not be celestial, but they're no less significant. Your choices matter more than you realize. So, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you let it transform your perspective, drawing you closer to God and his divine plan? Or will it be just another story, forgotten in the noise of daily life? The truth is, Lucifer's story has a warning for all of us, but also a call to rise above our weaknesses and embrace the light that still shines through grace. Imagine the impact you could have, not just in your own life, but in the lives of those around you, by choosing hope, humility, and faith every day. If this story resonated with you, don't stop here. Subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell to keep learning and growing in your spiritual journey. Together, we'll uncover deeper truths and explore the incredible mysteries of faith. Share your thoughts in the comments below. How has this story changed your perspective? What steps will you take to live differently today? Let's walk this path of discovery together, one step closer to the light.